Alrighty. Doc, a little early today. We mentioned it. I don't see it on the screen, but that's all right. I'm not complaining. I'll just get rolling along and cut out when I have to cut out. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's see if we're getting even some sound here and so forth. We'll try that. See how that's going. Because we are streaming at this point, so we will see. There it is. Excellent. We'll see in a second, but I believe we are up and running. So what it really comes down to more than anything else is that yesterday, boy, the bond vigilantes really, I was thinking about putting a short-term chart. They really drove the interest rates up yesterday. I mean, they really were pushing on it hard. Put some good pressure onto the stock market because they're like probably totally convinced and confused at the same time. No doubt about that. Let's see if we can put it up on there yesterday. Here, let's just show you what they did to it yesterday. It's fascinating. Let's take a look at the 30-year now. The 30-year mortgage is at 720. So everything the Fed has done is upside down, basically. And Mr. Powell wants to act like as if he knows what he is doing, when we in fact know from physical evidence that he's really bad at this whole thing. I guess at one point he must have been a really sharp guy, and then he got swallowed up by the politics. I mean, somewhere along the line there, he just doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's see. Oh yeah, 10-year bond. Let's show you what the I was watching the 30-year bond. Let's check out the 30-year bond yesterday. And I'm going to throw it up on the screen here. And you can see there yesterday. Look at that. I mean, they drove it down to, was it the 116.12? I mean, it was getting pounced on. And then it, closed up, a bunch of ticks. Was it the 1960? Yeah, so 1964 or 19. Split it in half, say 30 seconds. It was really beat hard. They really beat it down, and then you can see today they're starting to lift it back up again. You see that right there, and that's why when we go back to the dollar index, you can see that the dollar index is basically just hovering around in a bullish. I mean, it's interesting when you look at the dollar index with our algorithm, which is really, I guess I want to say it's insightful in many ways. Here you go. Check out all these red dots. Move this over. And so we've been in this daily buy signal. I guess we went in there something like there, right? And then it hesitated, but has been in that buy for a bunch of days. Just that one did it with the red dots. With the algorithm and the plus kind of pushed it up. And at the same time, you can see here the weekly, is in that same situation. It's in a bullish mode. Remember, the price of the bond, when the price of the bond goes up, price of the index goes up, it's gaining against all the pairs trades. In other words, all the pairs trades are losing. And, when we slide over to, we can put the euro up there up on the screen. There's Turkish lira. It's flush today. But you can see here this long glide down, in reverse of the dollar index, which has been gliding up in weekly buys and so forth and so on. So, what we really have now is we have a situation where the money is looking for a better return, and they have Elon Musk, and you got Vivek Ramaswamy, now having their own department of efficiency. I mean, you just have to giggle a little bit about it. There's no doubt. They said they're going to find $2 trillion to take out of the government, and if those two claim they're going to do it, they're going to do it. And matter of fact, Mr. Trump has done something really fascinating. It's going to be a birthday present to the United States. In July 4th of 2026, just, I guess you could say it's like 1.5 years from now, almost. When we get into January, it'll be 1.5 years away. They are going to, there'll be the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. It's the 4th of July. It's our, our birthday, in a sense, in the United States. We're a young country in many ways, and an old, wise country in others. And so, 250-year birthday of the Declaration of Independence breaking away from England. And he expects that department that he's put together with them to come to an end. They'll have, everything what they need to do, and they'll go after it and do it. And matter of fact, what is very fascinating is that Elon Musk and a lot of the campaigners of the last campaign back, a couple of weeks ago, November 5th, they're not shutting down. They're working on legislative positions. They're going to campaign for congressmen and senators, and they're going to go get more votes, not less. They're going to do battle. I mean, they're out there to battle away. And this morning, what time is it now in the States? Here it's 7:17 a.m. in the States here now. And at 9:30, in 2 hours and 12 minutes, basically, the Senate takes up a vote on who will be the leader of the Republican Party. And right now, there's a strong support for Rick Scott, the senator from Florida, who's a strong MAGA supporter, and at the same time a former governor of Florida, and he's the senator there now, and at the same time, again, a successful businessman before he was involved in politics. And if you want to really take it back, he was raised in a government tenant, single mom, the whole bit. In other words, he didn't exactly get a leg up in life to start off with, but being born in America is a leg up in its own right, even with the socialists getting crazy at times here in the States. It is always a leg up. So anyway, he's a very productive person, very good, very organized, and he is running to be in charge of the Republicans in the Senate. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's see, they're interviewing a senator as we speak right now, and so it's they're talking about it, and it's a lot of interesting things going on there. So let's keep on rolling along, and so that's why the dollar index is showing that strength, as you can see, all that strength, and why we keep on seeing weakness in the euro, even when we tried to have a little pop, and then that's the election right there, and they realized, the media fooled us again. The American media, who just seems to only have a one-trick pony story. They don't have it more than one trick. And so again, the world, I keep on reminding the world, stop paying attention to the U.S. media unless it's like Newsmax or Fox Business News. Not Fox News, but Fox Business. It's a separate company. And or Breitbart and or Zero Hedge. You're going to get a lot more realistic, accurate news out of those than the national media of all the old mainstream media structures. Especially the New York Times and the Washington Post. They've all kind of joined in with being socialists. They love that socialist thing. You can see, for those who are in Europe or other parts of the world that have socialism going on, you see you're not doing any better than what you've done before. You don't grow in socialism. You just kind of just exist. Anyhow, that's that. Let's take a look at cable this morning. See what the cable's up to. And there is cable. And as you can see, cable's in that same situation. There was in this case here, was that the, no, I see. This right here is, yes, that's the election. This one right here is when the Labor Party uh, put out their budget. And boy, did that put a push down into the marketplace. Just bang. Then we saw it starting to turn up, and we thought, oh, okay, maybe they're going to get their game together. And then you see these hesitations back and forth, buy, sell, and now back into sell. So we had a green and a red right there. Sure enough, it blew down, that's for sure. As you can see here, we've been in the weekly sell for a couple of weeks now, since back in here in the 132-ish area. And now we are in the 127-ish area. And so, that slow, steady drift with people concerned in England that the Labour Party is not exactly, it's not, they had this, let's put it this way, they needed to do something because Tories were acting like Labour light. They were acting like they were Labour too. Only thing is they weren't totally Labour. They're only like 65% Labour. It's like, nah, that's not good enough. We don't need that, And so that's why we see, the situation, especially with, the cable situation moving down. All right, and then from there, we've seen how, everything that trades against the euro is obviously going sideways to down. I mean, they're going up and the euro is going down. From there, we'll shift over to the inflation fighters right there, and there's Swiss. You see it's slowly climbing up into that range that we kind of identified right there. We're in a daily buy and we're in a weekly buy, so obviously it's going to play itself in that range. Let's put it this way. At 9:30 Eastern Standard Time in basically 2 hours and 6.5 minutes, they take the vote. And if Scott wins, that could put some real power into, more power into the dollar, not less. That's the amazing part. It'll put more energy into the dollar. So watch out, traders, at anytime after 9:30, that you have to stand it aside. It's like having a big information source coming out, Our first sip of the tea during the webinar there, that always feels good. We got cold weather here. We're at 0 Celsius this morning. All right, and then from there, yen is playing with that upside range again, playing with that 155. It's been in a buy for a bunch of days right here. We had that green and red, and sure enough, it's lifting up. Let's put it this way, it's getting volatile. And you can see here the weekly is the same situation like everybody else. They're buying dollars, selling pairs. And depending on what pair it is, it seems like they're just selling them at this point. Public endorsements. Boy, Scott's got a lot of support. Excellent. Yeah, he's got a lot of support. So it'll probably be a battle between Scott and Thune, and what's his name? Croneman from Texas will probably lose. What they do is they make a vote like this. There's 3 of them running. The top 2 stay after the first vote, and the third one drops. And then Thune will run against Scott separately. And we'll see from there. There's some support because he was the assistant to the leader. So that explains for Thune. But it's hard to say. I think Scott's going to win. We'll see. It'll be interesting. All right. It could be. See what they're saying. It's deflation, but also okay. So from there, we go over to where's the next spot we go to, and that is the Great Experiment, which is benefiting from the weakness of the euro. And I'm happy for the people of Turkey. Let's keep it down there. Let's let this thing go to sleep there for the next 5 years. Just stay there at 36 or go lower, but don't go up. That's what we want. We want that thing to go to sleep and stay there. Not much more can be said. I guess this is the only big thing I can say, is that we are now on is that an 8th week? I believe that is. Yes, we're on the 8th week of a sell. We have not seen 8 weeks in a sell in 4 years. So that's really something. We'll have to go back and look at the last. I think I'll do that today, and tomorrow I'll let you know what is. What is it? When was the last time we saw 8 weeks in a sell for this product? Maybe when they started giving the free puts out. I don't think it was. I thought they came right back at it. In other words, they started giving out the free puts, and all of a sudden, within weeks, it fell apart. So, the government or the central bank of Turkey, at one point, to try to get out of trouble, like for it not to go blow up into the. Let me see if we can show it to you. It's well worth taking the time and showing you. I think it says it on there too. Free puts. I think we have it written in there somewhere. Let's go back. That's right there. There we are. All right, let's see what happens now. See if it goes back and does that. All right, let's see how far back it did for us. Go like that. Okay, there we are. When's the last time we saw them in a weekly sell longer than 8 weeks? There it is right there. I see it right there. Let's just go like that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Back in, when was that? That was, what month was that? It started in July of 21, 4 years back. Oh, 3 years, I guess July of, it's like 3.5 years back. And at that time, the product was trading in the tens, and then it got up to 20, and they declared that they're going to give free puts out to anybody who bought the Turkish lira. And that made a lot of sense to me. I thought, wow, that's a way of holding the product back. In other words, in a good way, cutting the inflation. But no, that didn't work. Within a couple weeks, it was back into the buy. I guess it jumped into weekly buy literally a week later. And then it bounced around, and I guess people started figuring it out, and they started figuring out it was a fake out. And there it goes. It climbed after, I guess, about 8 or 9 months. You can see right up in here. So in the end of December when they did it, all the way by the time 6 months was later, they were back at the 18 area. And then another, 6 months, they were right where they started from again. So it didn't work. The strategy, I guess what it is, they put these caveats in where only certain people would receive puts. That's what the problem was. So no more than 4 years ago, this product was trading at 10. Imagine that. It was trading as low as 8. Literally less than 4 years ago, it was trading at 8. I mean, what they've done to this currency is like, wow. Crazyville. Just flat out Crazyville. Imagine it got up to the 40 area. All right, so that's where we stand with the Euro Turkish lira. We haven't seen something like that since the crazy put situation. So it'll be interesting to see. Let's see if we can go back. Let's see, where's it at? Yeah, so that's it right there. Back in 21, 3.5 years ago, We did 4, and then we did another 4. We did 9 weeks in a weekly sell. And look at that, right? Let's go like this. Let's put this up on there. Look at that. How much does that? Like that. Then we go back to where we are right now. It has a lot of look like that, same type of thing. We'll see, when we get back in the weekly buy, in a daily buy, we'll know that the thing is turned. But at this point, the weakness in the euro is going to basically keep this thing very, very firm. Oh, yeah. They have them up on the TV, up on one of the financial channels. Trump has put for Secretary of Defense a TV person, not originally TV. He jumped to TV in 2014. He's a retired. I think he's still in the reserves, so he's a major in the reserves. Has an undergraduate degree from Princeton, a graduate degree from Harvard, and he's got 2 Bronze Stars, and he's very MAGA, and he is going to be the Secretary of Defense now. It's really cool. He's a decorated combat veteran from a couple different wars, Afghanistan and Iraq, and where else is it? Another one too. He's been in hot zones. Matter of fact, that's it. What's interesting is Trump put a congressman in as national security advisor. He's the same way. He's a major, and he's in Congress as a congressman, and he's also been somebody that, the idea of having people that have been shot at deciding where troops go is a good idea. He knows what he's doing when he does it. So it's going to be very interesting. But anyway, yep, look at Turkish lira. That's what it is. Now from Turkish lira, let's jump over to South African rand. And there is the rand. You can see that right there. And it's, a little hesitant, a little off today. Not bad. It's gaining against the dollar. In other words, that little blip down is a gain against the dollar. We're in that weekly buy for 4 weeks now. So, it's not exactly, like, oh my goodness gracious, it's kind of like a chill thing going on. As the clock ticks, we have 1 hour and 55 minutes to the vote in the Senate. So that's what we're waiting for. All right, and then from there, what do we got here? There's South African rand. So from the rand, what we'll do is we go over to the metals complex. And here's the metals complex. Where's the metals complex? We'll figure it out. Not there. Okay. Right there. Here's gold. Gold doing the same thing, doing a little pop. Trying to shift a little bit. It was interesting. It was underneath $26, but had a hard time breaking it. It's like that. Matter of fact, what's interesting is I guess a lot of traders were thinking we might see the 2570 area, and we may. But, especially being in a daily sell and now flirting with a weekly sell. And, our beta, let me just show you what the beta is doing. The beta is in a weekly sell for a second week, which is interesting. We really are happy with the beta. The beta is definitely a great trading tool. So we can't really complain about that. And you can see all the sells. And let me just show it to you right there. See, we're just going into a sell here. There's the fast breaking into the sell last week. And right there, we have both doing it, the slow and the fast, breaking into that sell, pushing down. So that pressure is still on that product. It's really making an interesting dive, and it knew that we were going to have all that weakness. So if you're following the beta, when it went into the daily sell there, you could actually be in a short for this whole move down, which is pretty cool. That's why we're very happy with our beta. And we do say to people, if you would like a free copy to play with for a while, just contact Robin right there at Chicago Quant Technologies, and he'll let you play with it for a couple weeks. Maybe even more than that. We'll see. But at least you can do it for yourself and do the same things I do, and you can, just see what kind of tool it is, see if it helps you or if it doesn't help you. All right, so from there, we shoot over to, let's go back to the gold and we'll look at silver. Silver looks firming up too today. There's silver. Let's see. Now something seems odd there. Oh yeah, it's just moving slow. I see. Wow. Okay. All right. So from there, I just checked it, and it just seems like it's dragging. Let's take a look at silver. There's silver, and you can see silver's doing the same little thing like South African rand. Making that little bounce. It's days. 6 days in a sell, and we're definitely 2 weeks in a sell, and the pressure's on there. And even when we look at, just look at it this way too. When we look at the beta, you can see the same. Well, it's also 2 weeks in a sell, so I don't have to show you that. I just thought it was interesting that the gold was the other way around. All right, now from there we go over to. Well, I always think, I always say it. We'll say it again. It's China. It's copper. Copper is making some nice, interesting lows. We know that the 380 area? You see that there? Yeah. The $4 area is definitely a strong spot. There's no doubt about that. And it also dug in for a long while in the 380 area right here. Let me just throw a line in there like that. Matter of fact, it was even a little bit lower than the 380 area. It was 372. Bounced around in there. You can see how it bounced here and there, and and then it steered clear of it and became strong in the $4 area when it comes to copper. And we'll see how well it treats it if it does drift down to there. Not totally sure it will, but we are in a daily sell and a weekly sell. So because of that alone, I have to accept the idea that it wants to go lower. And it's just what it's trying to tell us. And we had that volatility signal right there, the green and the red. All right, and then from there, we go over to platinum, the most dangerous short in the world. Playing with the 950 area again like it did there. And when we tighten it up, you can see it has gone as low as 900 with no problem. Especially back there in September. Broke through the 950 area and got down close to the 900 area. And when we slide it across, you see that has been a big support area, the 900. And we'll see how it plays out. It's a third week in a sell. It's 4 days in a daily sell. Right before we had all that action, we did get a green and a red. We got a volatility signal. So that pressure kicked out there. And what else have we got going on? I guess that's about it. That takes us through all the metals. And from the metals, we will shoot over to the energies. So let's go to the beta. And we'll look at Brent and see what Brent is up to first. There it is there. You can see Brent. Let's put that up on the screen there. There's Brent. Brent is sideways to down. Let's just make this bigger so we can see it exactly. Yeah, sideways to up actually now. And it's kind of hanging out in there. It has good little range in there. It's doing that, that's for sure. At the same time, you can see the daily's been in the sell for 4 days. And you can see we've been 3 out of the last 4 weeks, we've been in weekly sells. So, the media really had a lot of people confused. They really were confused. They were trying to prepare for a Harris win, I guess. And so some money started to shift gears and started to protect itself, and then all of a sudden, whoop, whoop, there they go. Whoop, there they go. It's same old crazy media being crazy on us. You don't know how much front running goes on with that too. That's the thing. Is that I've always seen odd statements made by the mainstream media when they shouldn't be saying anything at all about politics or money or so forth, and they do, and you got to wonder how much they're so all connected together. You've seen how Pelosi and a lot of these Democrat politicians have made millions upon millions of dollars. Mr. Biden, has been documented. He made over 53 million, and they can't figure out where it came from. So they've been doing a lot of front running things where they make sure these announcements are done in the media, and they own something or they're short something, and they make the money. They take the money and they run. Take it off and go. Another sip of the tea there. Yeah. So that when we really look at the charts and you start to compare them to the news and then compare them to the elections, you start to realize that they do a lot of front running. That's what we call it when you're trading on information that's not public and you know what the information is going to be to begin with. That's what we refer to as front running right there. All right, and then from Brent, we'll go to West Texas Intermediate. Where is it at? Right there. West Texas Intermediate. And West Texas doing the same thing, just a little bit up, just a little bounce up, nothing major. Just a little teeny bounce up. And you can see, it's been in the daily sell for 4 days right there now. This is the fourth day, and same thing. Just like Brent, 3 out of 4 weeks have been in a sell, and they tried to prep themselves right here. Like, uh-oh, Trump's going to lose. And then, uh-oh, Trump didn't lose. And it's right back down into that. So that is the crude and Brent march along really well together constantly, and the only difference is the transportation cost. That's really what it comes down to at this point. So from there, we jump over to home heating oil, which should be rallying since we're at 0 Celsius today. So let's take a look at that. This is, some call it diesel, some call it kerosene, some call it heating oil, but it's all the same thing. And so that is the action of what it is. Let's see, what do we got here? So from there, you can see heating oil in there. And heating oil, same situation. I mean, it's amazing. They all march very well together. And you can see here, little bounce again, just that little bump, just a wee little bump. And you can see the 4 days in a sell, and you can see the weekly also holding on. At the same time, we are 0 Celsius, so it is cold here, and we use it for heating homes. Obviously, this time of the year, that's a popular thing to do. Natural gas, especially in the northern hemisphere. Obviously, in the southern hemisphere, you have, it's summertime. It's good warm weather. But, in the northern hemisphere, we're coming towards the coldest point, which is kind of curious since we are the closest to the sun now in our winter months. It's the tilt of the planet. All right, and then from there, we shoot over to natural gas and see what natural gas is up to. In here. Hello. Hi. Hello. Did you put those pills somewhere? Here, right here. Okay. There you go. So, the next spot to go to is natural gas. So let's get the natural gas up on the screen. And as you can see, natural gas is pressing down again. One moment, it tries to stay up. The next moment, it tries to stay down. Back and forth, back and forth. else we got brewing about this thing here? Natural gas. It's even more in the weakness for this time of the year, which is relatively odd. You can see it's something like 7 out of the last 8 weeks. You can see on the screen there. There's 5 out of the last 6 in weekly sells. Again, that front running thing was going on somewhere along the line. You can see on the daily, we've been in buys for the last 4 days, or at least last 3 days. That's for sure, right there. The pressure has been up on it, and you can see 7 out of the last 8 days since there on the 4th. Jumped into the buy, and then once he won, you can see that did that. Now we had a little bit better pop, but again, we're down at 0 Celsius at the moment, so that makes sense. I mean, it's jumping back up. It's like 1.5, 2 Celsius now. We're getting warm again. It only lasted for a short period of time. Abdul, how you doing? Good to see you. We had to start our webinar a little earlier today, so we're going to be out of here in about 10 minutes. So from there, but we'll be back to normal tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be back to 7:30, 8:30 again, our time, and we'll play it like that. Let's see, what else can we say about any of this? Let's jump over to where are we jumping over to? Let's jump. Yeah, you like that tilt of the planet? I like that. Yeah, commodities are influenced by our weather, of course. Yeah, exactly. And the energies too. How about all that snow they had in Saudi Arabia a couple days ago? Maybe I can find that. Let's see if I can find that and put that up on the screen. That could be fun. Let's see, where is it at? Let me do this. Let's go take a look at where are we at now? We're done. Oh no. Let's take a look at the two energies, and then I'm going to show you a picture of the snow that hit Saudi Arabia a couple days ago. Let's see, where's it at? Right there. There's the energy company in Spain. That's been in a weekly sell for a while. So obviously they're anticipating a lot more supply and lower prices. That's exactly what that's doing. It's telling you that. Stocks usually tell you, stocks are always a good leader. They're a great hedge against inflation. They anticipate future events, and the classic Wall Street saying, buy on the news, buy the rumor, sell the news. I mean, that is a classic that never goes away. I mean, it's a perpetual Wall Street expression. All right, and then from there, let's take a look at ExxonMobil. That's our big energy company here in the States. And obviously, they're anticipating better earnings, or at least good earnings. Remember, they produce a lot of product and refine a lot of product. So you see, they're in weekly buy there for the last 2 weeks. And they were, basically, there's the that's not the election. Right there is the election. So they sold it down and then started lifting it up when they realized that their internal numbers were showing a success for Mr. Trump again, which is odd because, energy prices are going to come down. But the thing is, they're going to be able to sell more of them because they're going to be able to. He's going to increase our inventory, or let's say our production, about 35%. So that's going to, on billions of dollars, 35% helps, makes money. You can see they're in 4 days in the sell, and you can see it's just broken in there now. All right, that does the energies. Let's go take a look at Saudi. Here, let me go see. Let me do this. Let's see. Let's just send you over to intraday, just for a moment, so I can go search for the picture I want to put up there. You see, stock market is kind of just sideways to down. Here's the S&P 500 on the 3-hour. You see, it's just kind of hesitant now for the last 9 hours, sideways, just sideways action. I think we might see this if Thune wins? Yes. If Thune does not win? No. If Scott wins? No. I think that's the best way to describe it. Now let me go find you. Oh, you can't see that. Here, let me just show it to you here, right there. And so there's the S&P 500 on a 3-hour bar I like to watch every so often. And let me go find Where's it at? Right here and there. Oh, there it is. I even have it up there already. That's cool. Let's see, go like that. Let's see. Let me just show you that. There we go. Check this out. I'm sure it's happened before, but they weren't recording it, and so that's that snowfall that they've had. So we'll minimize that now, and let's go take a look at, say, like Hong Kong, and let's see what they've been doing with all the world indices. And then we're going. Oh, and I got to put up a title, and I think today's title is going to be, we're still tied to politics. So, Senate leadership vote. Let's see, Senate leadership vote. Let's see. This is that other one I was talking about, the little round one. There we are. It's the Senate leadership vote is big. And we'll see how they play with that. All right, let's take a look at about 3 or 4 more products, and then we're going to be out of here for the day. So, let's go take a look at Tokyo. There is Tokyo. Right there is the Nikkei. You see, Nikkei was feeling some pressure this morning. They're pushing it down, which is a little surprising. Their currency's been moving up, as I showed you. So basically, the inflation factor is really kicking in there. We're starting to see some, consistent inflation going on. Heading over to Shanghai. Let's see how the Chinese are doing it today. Right there, there's Shanghai, and you can see it's up a little bit. Still a red dot. It's trying to climb into a buy, and we're still 3 weeks in a weekly buy. So their pressure, that sugar high is not what it was, but it's still a sugar high. Even if you don't get a bag of candy, but you only get a couple bars out of it. That's what it comes down to. They need a bag of candy to satisfy the sugar high there. Unfortunately, the best they're doing is giving you a couple pieces. That's it. From there, we'll shoot over to Taiwan, and then we'll do Hong Kong, and then we're going to get out of here. There's Taiwan. Taiwan breaking down a little bit. I think that may be more of what's going on in the stock market here. We're seeing Intel. It looks like it will be bought by Qualcomm. You see that NVDA. Everybody's firming up. I guess you could say the chip stocks are going to start to be produced again in the States here, so that'll slow down some of the gains out of Taiwan, but it's not going to close them down. Look how strong that market has been. Let's see what Hong Kong's up to this morning, or last night. Now it is. Hong Kong is, where's Hong Kong? There it is, right there, the Hang Seng. And the Hang Seng, weakness for the last 4 days. I guess they were really looking forward to a little bit better sugar high, and it can't get into a weekly buy. It's now the 5th week in a weekly sell. Let's see what Singapore is doing. STI, right there. And you see that's doing a little pump. I don't know. That's interesting. It's been very firm. I always feel like they know what's going on. So, we'll see. We'll see if we see the Shanghai and Hong Kong get into daily buys with the Singapore Straits Times. I would think that they'll add to their little sugar high that they're trying to put together, the stimulus package. Right now, that stimulus package looks putrid. Right there's the DAX out of Frankfurt. You see, still weakness on that. It hasn't done very well. I guess, with the government collapsing over there, it's really turning it into a disaster. Can you imagine that the Germans can't find enough paper? The government tried to say there's not enough paper to do an election. To use pickup sticks. All right, and then last but not least, and then we're out of here. Here is the FTSE. Let's see what London is doing this morning. Come on, you're here somewhere. Nope, not there. Right there. There's the FTSE. Labor's putting a real strain on that thing. Look at that. Still moving down, and we're still looking at a fourth week in a sell. So, all right, traders. I say some stocks in as companies. Yes, stocks as in companies are a very good defender against inflation. I got to get out of here. So I will talk to you all tomorrow back to the normal hours of 7:30 Eastern to 8:30 Eastern. So this is Doc saying happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be today's hump day, so it'll be Thursday. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart trading day. Ta-ta for now.